Okay, guys, we're gonna try this again. I've just sent a invite, so hopefully we'll be able to get this author interview off the ground. Today we're going to be talking with Steena Holmes about her books and her author life, and I think we've got it. I think we've got Steena. Let's wait just a second, and she'll be on camera with us.
I'm
Hi,
here.
Steena. We did it. We made it at work.
That was crazy.
Isn't technology fun?
No.
Well,
Thank you for bearing
sometimes
with
it
me.
is. Oh, you're fine. Like I said, it's a learning experience for both of us. So, um, first of all, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your books and what you write?
Sure. So I write a mixture of women's fiction and psychological suspense with some romance novels. I have about 30 in total, and I've been writing since 2011 or 2012 full time. I love what I do, and I just had a new release, and that's me.
Is there a favorite genre or a favorite trope that you like to write?
Well, right now it's psychological suspense. That seems to be where I love to read.
Awesome.
Those are the books I pick up. And I've wanted to write this for a long time, so I'm very excited that I'm able to now.
Okay. What do you like to do besides writing? I know a lot of authors don't really have much of a life outside of writing. I know I don't, but what are some things that you like to do in your spare time?
I like to go to farmers markets. We have a lot here in
Oh,
Calgary
that's
that
nice.
we can go to. So I like to do that, and I like to find new places where I can try cupcakes and hot chocolate or cold coffee. I love to sit out on my deck and drink coffee and read, but I think that's normal for most authors. And I used to love to bake,
Yeah.
but I have 3 teenage daughters now who tend to do most of the baking for me. So now I just get to taste test, which is just as great.
I was gonna say that sounds like a sweet deal right there.
I agree.
Um, do you want to do you want to tell us a little a little bit about your newest release, what about the blurb and what it's about, and where we can find it?
Sure. So The Forgotten Ones is all about a deep, dark family secret that comes to light because of a deathbed confession. My main character finds out she has a grandfather she never knew was alive, and he has quite a story he wants to tell her. And it's up to her to figure out if it's true or not. Now, he does give her a little bit of warning, and he says that in every story, there's a kernel of truth. So she struggles in the book to figure out the horrific story that he's telling her, whether it really is true or not. Readers are
That
telling me it's
sounds
a little
awesome.
twisty. Yeah, they're liking it, and a lot of people have opinions about the ending, and they're always willing to share those opinions with me, which I love because I knew it would be a little controversial, and I knew people would have a hard time sometimes with the ending. Some like it, some don't. Some think it should have been another way. But I wrote the book because I wanted it to be one of those books that you read and you can't pick up another one right away. You have to kind of let it sit and you think about it for a while. And apparently
Yes.
I'm being told that that's what I've done.
Well, that's like the best kind of book, something that you can really think about and contemplate on and wonder about. I like that in a book.
Yeah.
I've got it on my to be read list, my huge to be read list, and I will read it eventually. But the cover looks great. It just looks awesome. I've heard really good things about it. So congratulations on releasing that.
No, thank you very
Um,
much.
I wanted to talk a little bit. You're welcome. I wanted to talk a little bit about your branding because I think it is so smart. The Steena Holmes I'm reading, that is so cute. How did you come up with that?
I worked
Or
with
did it just
someone.
kind of come?
Well, it just kind of came. I Everyone tries to think of a really cute tagline, right? And it just, I was working with someone quite a few years
Mm-hmm.
ago, and they're like, you have the perfect initials for shh. And I was like, oh, I do. And I
Sure.
created Steena's Secret Society, so everything is about the secrets. And amazingly, every book I write, it's
Mm-hmm.
focused on the secrets. So it just works, and I love it because I can do so much with it.
I just think it is the cutest thing ever, and I love that you know the secrets and everything together. I did not know that because, of course, I haven't got the pleasure to read yet, but I think that is a great way to brand yourself, a very smart way to brand yourself. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
Um, what are you working on now? Do you have anything in the works?
So I'm working on two different projects. I have a novel with my publisher. I'm just waiting to get back my edits on that. And it's
Hmm.
called The Therapist, and it'll be out probably, I think, spring 2019. But then I'm also working on a new series that I'm going to be self-publishing starting this summer. And it's in the same vein as the psychological suspense thriller, dealing with um,
Hmm.
cults. Not the satanic ones or whatnot, but other homegrown, secretive cults that sometimes we hear whispers about, and I'm gonna dive deep into those.
That sounds awesome. I like that sort of, I like mystery and suspense anyway. So, but that sounds really amazing.
I'm enjoying
I'm trying to think of,
it.
um, is there an author who has inspired you or that, really got you into writing, or is it just something that came naturally to you?
So I don't know if you've ever heard of Ted Decker. He started off a Christian inspirational author, and he's now more mainstream. Um, I devoured his books. He has this series, it's the Circle series, Red, Black, and White, and I devoured them. And I remember when I
Mhm.
was reading them, I kept thinking, oh my God, I wish I could write like this. And then I heard or I read an interview of his talking about, the creative passions that we have within us. And we need to bring them out to light. And my husband uh, encouraged me, challenged me to write a book because it's something I've always wanted to do. So when I
Mhm.
did that, I read more of Ted Decker, and I think I learned how to write through his books. Now today, I would have to say that Kimberly Bell is one of the authors that every time I read her book, she blows me away. And I keep saying, oh my God, I want to write like this. This is how I want to write, with this level of emotion, and every single word matters in her stories. And she just blows me away with her writing. And if I can write anything close to her, I'll be happy.
That's great. Um, I love authors that can just pull you into that
Yeah.
world and make you think. And um, is there any advice that you would give authors that are just starting out, especially new indie authors, as far as, what not to do, what things you need to make sure you have, what to do about branding and how important cover design is, all those little things that kind of trip up new authors. Is there any advice you can give on that?
Yeah. So I would say first, slow down. Stop trying to rush. You're not going to become a New York bestseller. You're not going to have the 100,000 copies that first book unless something amazing happens. Um, so slow down. Focus on your writing. Don't try and get that book out there as fast as you can, because if that's all your goal is, then you're not going to sell anything. Some readers may find you, but then they won't continue with you because you haven't really put the effort into your book. So focus on the storytelling, focus on the writing first. These books are going to um, be out there forever, and you're always going to find new readers. So if you put the focus on the writing and the book, you're only helping yourself in the long run. Once you have the story down and you've written it and you've had it edited and whatnot, find a really good cover designer. You don't have to go all expensive, but don't do it yourself. And don't put on a slap happy type of cover either, because you need to, your cover is what draws your readers in, and your writing is what keeps them and to buy the next book. And when you're writing and you publish, don't stress about the sales and don't stress about what's not happening or whatnot. Just keep writing, get those 3, 4 books out, and then start marketing them. When you first get a book out, yes, you need a newsletter and you need a website, but don't worry about trying to promote them, and don't worry about doing ads or Facebook ads or BookBub or whatnot. Just focus on getting the books out there, because your main goal should be trying to find your readers. So if you find them with the first book, they're going to be looking for something else to read. And if you can grab them and give them 2 or 3 or 4 other books to read while you're working on your fourth or fifth or sixth, then it's your gold. Like, you've got it. This is going to work for you. So just stop. Don't get frustrated. Don't think you have to run when you really don't. Just start and take one step at a time and don't rush.
That is great advice. Baby steps, and you will get there.
Yeah,
And pay attention to what other authors are doing, in your genre.
perfect.
Um,
Yeah.
are there any mistakes that you've made that you will admit to, and that you would say, don't do this? I know
Yeah.
I've got all
So,
kinds of them.
so don't put a book out until it's ready. And that totally includes like getting it edited. And sometimes 1 edit, 2 edits, not enough. Have as many eyes on that book as you can, because the things that you catch or you don't catch, someone else will catch. Don't just think that you're the awesome proofreader because you went and took English in university, or you're a teacher and you teach this stuff. You're not going to see things. So I'm not a teacher. I'm just a reader. I knew nothing, and I should know better that I don't see a lot of things in my writing. So I rushed a book and I shouldn't have. I
Mhm.
also wrote in a series with other authors a long time ago that I shouldn't have, because it wasn't part of my branding. And I did a book that wasn't part of my genre that I wrote, only because I thought it would be cool to try. And I
Mhm.
didn't have readers, and I still don't have readers for that book, because I wasn't true to my brand, and I didn't keep my promise to my readers when it came to what they expect from a Steena Holmes book. So I learned my
Mhm.
lesson the hard way. Sometimes it takes me a lot to learn those lessons, and I tend to repeat them over and over because I'm a little stubborn, and I think that I can do it and I can make it work. And people will warn me and they'll tell me, and I'll be like, no, I'm just going to try it. I think I can do this. And really, I can't. So I need to learn to listen to others too.
That's just determination. You're a very driven person. I think that has
Yes.
to do with part of it. Um, I've made some of the same, you know, things, and trusting people that you don't really know. I think I was in an anthology one time, and it was horrible. It was horrible. The editing was horrible, and everything turned out horrible. So we started making at Fiction Atlas, we started doing our own anthologies, and they did much better. But it was only because I had that learning experience
Uh,
of that first anthology that went horribly, and I learned, this is what I should not do.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think the whole author process, the whole life process, is just learning from your mistakes and doing better. As long as you don't admit defeat and
That's it.
keep trying, I think you're doing a great job.
Yeah, and
Um,
you need to know what your boundaries are. I have a tendency to say
mhm,
yes too much, and I say yes to everything, and
mhm,
afterwards I regret it because I've worn myself out, or I've said yes to something I really shouldn't be doing. And I think we're
mhm,
people pleasers as authors. I think it just comes
yeah,
naturally to us, and you have to learn to
mhm,
say no. You have to um, protect yourself and your writing time and your brand and your readers as much as you can.
mhm. Oh, Joe has a question. What's your question, Joe? We'd love to ask it. We'll give him some time to type.
Right.
Um, if you guys don't know Joe Compton, he is amazing. He is the creator of Go Indie Now, and he is just a sweetheart. So just want to give him some props there too. It was because of Joe that me and Steena and Mickey Michelson met on a live panel. So
Yeah,
thank
that
you,
was fun.
Joe. Yes. Um, Is there anything you just want to talk about? Is there just like free talk? What do you want to talk about?
You know, when I first thought about writing, I really never I had this image in my head about what being an author would be like, you know, and working from home
Mhm.
and spending all day pouring into these stories, and it is not that at all. And a lot of people, when I talk to them, they'll be like, "Oh, you're a writer and you work from home. Oh my God, such a glorious life." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not."
right. They don't they think that all you do is kind of just sit down and the stories just come and then you have all the rest of the day to do whatever you want to do. I really get that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Usually
Joe's
everything else comes
question
in.
is, yeah. Joe's question is, how do you balance your day with marketing, writing, and life? And how much do you put into each segment?
So it all depends on what has to be done that day. I have three teenage daughters who are very busy, and one works full time, and one goes to school and works, and the other one is, you know, she's just a 15-year-old who wants to hang out with her friends all the time and be driven everywhere. Um,
Mhm.
so I don't have a set schedule every day. Because it all depends on what's going to happen. Now, I am trying to protect my writing time. And so that any errands I have to do, if they need to be done, then I do them during the times that I know I'm just not going to write. So for me, mornings
Mhm.
are not my optimal writing time. My brain needs a long time to wake up and a lot of coffee. And so usually it'll be late afternoon that I can write, and then early evening, and then late evening. So I learned to, you know, those errands that need to be done have to be done in the morning or early afternoon or mid evening when everyone is crazy busy at home, anyways. And sometimes when I'm on a deadline, I'll take my laptop with me to my daughter's field hockey game, and you know, I'll be watching her while typing at the
Mhm.
same time. You know, like my focus is always on and off, but you do what you got to do, right? And whatever is most important. Some days
You
you need to
really
focus on
do.
writing. Some days you need to do the writing, and everything else has
Hmm.
to go to the wayside, and then you hope that your family will help pick up the slack for you. And some days you just drop
Hmm.
every single ball and nothing you do works.
It's really a toss up. I've got a toddler and I've got who is 3.5 and I got a 7.5 year old. So, and there, it's about to be summertime. So everybody's going to be home
Yep.
and you kind of just like, I love that I can do a lot of stuff from my phone because that helps me a lot. But, and I love being able to dictate and get some writing done that way. But that's like the only way. Like half of my stuff, especially my story notes and stuff, like I'm in the drive-through at McDonald's and I'm speaking in a Scottish accent into my phone because that's one of my characters is Scottish, and my kids are looking at me like I'm crazy. The drive-through ladies looking at me like I'm crazy. But you know, you have, like you said, you have to do what you have to do. It's
Yep.
just you gotta make your schedule work with everything else.
Yep. If this is
Um,
important enough to you, then you're going to make it work.
Yes, exactly. That is the difference between people who want to be authors and authors. People, you know, you can write all day and never finish anything because you have a love of writing, but you have to have the determination to actually get something accomplished, done, edited, put out, marketed. You have to make the time in your
Yep.
day somehow.
Yep.
Sometimes you just don't sleep.
Or you get very little
Um,
sleep. Yeah, I agree.
yeah. Okay. Is there a book by another author that you adore and would recommend to other people to read?
Oh my God. So if you want a tearjerker and you want
Hmm.
a book to really mess you up, read 5 Days Left by Julie Lawson Timmer. That book destroyed me.
Okay.
It just absolutely destroyed me. If you want a really fun read, and you like series and you like
Hmm.
the Fae and dark magic and all that, read Karen Marie Mooning. She is fabulous, and her
Okay.
Fever series is one of my favorite. And every time she has a new book out, I always reread the whole series before I read that book. Like, it's just phenomenal. If you want a smexy type story with an, a character who knows her mind and she knows what she wants, look for Dare Saint Denis. She writes amazing series, um, and it's off of my head. Oh, Dare. Oh my God, it's off my head now. I can't think of it, but just look her up. Dare Saint Denis. She's amazing. And if you're looking for like a sweet romance or shifter books, Alina Welch or Alina Aitken. She's great. And if you like military romance, military suspense, then you definitely want to read Trish Loy. Those
Well,
came.
that's like that covers everybody.
I know.
That's good because most people are just like one book. I like that you've given me like a whole bunch of choices because I know a lot of people try to stick with one, but I'm kind of very eclectic in my taste. I like a little bit of everything, so that's great.
Same
I'm gonna
here.
have to.
I always go with the cycle, right? Like sometimes I want to read the military romance. Sometimes I want to read the fantasy or the romance and suspense and whatnot. So I have a lot of favorite authors and a lot of favorite series that I read.
Mhm. Is there a genre you would like to dabble in that you have not yet?
So I would love to go deeper and darker with my writing and do thrillers. I would love to figure out how to do that, like a psychological thriller. I think it would be a real stretch for me, but it's a goal that I want to do. I'm not sure how, but I'm gonna try.
Well, I would read it. So,
Oh well, thank you.
well, I hope you get to do it.
I hope so too.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different genres out there, and I hate having to limit myself, so I'd love to step into a lot of them. I know you have to still keep consistent branding though, so that kind of is a little bit hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all the questions I have. I'm really drawing a blank, but it has been such a pleasure to talk to you, and thank you so much. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna check out the books that you've mentioned, and I'm definitely going to read your book. Do you want to tell everybody where they can find you on social media?
Sure. So you can come to my website, steenaholmes.com. I'm on Instagram as author Steena Holmes and Twitter as Steena Holmes, Facebook, Steena Holmes, or my Facebook page, steenaholmes.author. It's all, just look for Steena Holmes and you're going to find me.
Okay. Well, again, thank you so much, and it was a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. And I'm so sorry I had such a hard time at first.
Oh, it's okay. Like I said, this is like the first show. This is the first time I've used like the split screen on Facebook Live. So, you know, it's a learning process, and we got it. We did great.
We did it.
So.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Courtney. Okay.
You're welcome. Bye. Bye.